Okay guys, welcome back. We have another full custom project today. This one is actually really special. We were approached by a friend of mine who recently had their dog pass away. And we're huge animal lovers over here at E6 Rings, so we came up with this idea to kind of help them go through that grieving process. And what we decided to do was to take some of the remains of their dog and actually put it into a ring. So that's what we're gonna do today. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take one of our pre-made, these are pure carbon fiber, and if you look here, it's got a little channel in it, and we're basically gonna take that and fill it with the ashes of their pet dog. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna pop this on the lathe, get it nice and straight here. And we're gonna be using a lot of our CA glue. So if you remember from the last video, gosh, this is a bad one. I'm gonna put some gloves on this time. So basically what we've done here, the customer has provided us with just a small little bit. And what I want to do is obviously waste as little as possible. So we're gonna try to keep this clear. So what I've done is cut a little tiny slit in this bag that we can kind of very gently feed it onto. And then we've got two different kinds of CA glue. So this is important too. We've got, this is just the viscosity or the thickness. So we've got a medium and we've got a thin. So we're gonna start off with the medium. It's kind of almost like a gel, and it is gonna coat the bottom of the ring, really start to fill in this space. Basically, I just want to make sure that there is no bubbles or no gaps in it. So that's looking pretty good. Just gonna kind of very carefully as we can. Whatever's left over, we want to send back to the customer, obviously. So we're gonna try to use as little as possible. So that's gonna be good for that. And then this is where the thin stuff comes in. You can see how dry and powdery that is. We touch this with the thin glue, you'll see it just flow like through the material here. Then we're gonna hit this with a little bit of our activator. And this is basically just going to cure that set or that batch of glue. I know it's ready to go when I can touch it and not get stuck to it. So we're still too low though, so basically we're just gonna repeat the steps again. We're gonna go back to our thicker glue and we're going to fill this in, and then we're gonna add a little bit more of the ashes there. We've gone all the way around again. We're gonna do one more blast with the thin CA glue. I really like the thin stuff because it just flows through and onto everything. You can actually, I don't know if you can see it, but there's little tufts of smoke coming up, and that is the glue curing. It cures so fast. The thin in particular cures extremely fast, which is an exothermic reaction and gives off a little smoke. So, okay, from there, we're gonna shave this down. Now we're actually above the level of the carbon in most places. So we're actually gonna shave this down and get it down to that level, and then fill in any remaining holes that we might have. Basically, I'm just looking for the two sides of the carbon ring to show up. Okay, we're gonna go about right there. Okay, so it looks like we've got a few more low spots here. And rather than adding more of the remains, we're just gonna fill that with our medium CA glue here. And then you can actually see where it's taken these chunks and kind of turned them white. We'll try to use the thin stuff on that and kind of darken it up a little bit. I actually didn't move the tool at all so that we can run the same pass that we did before and see if we've still got low spots. I think I will run it in just a little bit. That's where we want to be, but you can still see this dark spot right here. That the tool hasn't hit that, so we've got a couple of small low spots here. Okay, I like it. So that's the fill stage done. Next we've got is polishing, and then we are done. Okay, so same thing basically as most of our other rings. We're just gonna run through the different grits of sandpaper until this is nice and shiny. So I'm gonna run this up to 1,000 grit, and then we're actually gonna use this cloth here, which is called a sunshine cloth. And this actually really gives it a really good shine. Super glossy. Beautiful. There we go. Okay, so after that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it into our engraver and we're gonna do a custom engraving with the dog's name on the inside here. So let's run in and do that. So this engraver is really cool. It's actually made for steel, and I don't know if you can see, we use this as kind of our test piece. So there's some random engravings on here, but we can actually make this bigger. Let's make this like 20 millimeters, and I can show you what it looks like on metal. And we can actually we'll give it the full 100% power. So this is as strong as it can go, and this is bright. It has a very narrow window of where it can actually engrave. So if it was actually engraving and you put your hand in it, it won't actually burn you because your hand is not at the focal point. Ready? 3, 2, 1. There we go. Isn't that crazy? If you keep going, it takes off a little layer of metal, and if you keep going, it will carve a hole into the metal. It's actually vaporizing the metal. For this one, this is kind of a cool one because, so the dog's name is Sammy. Because it's a little bit longer, we're actually gonna use our rotary tool here. This is basically a CNC rotary. It will spin as it lasers, so that'll give it a really good engraving, nice and straight across the inside. It'll actually spin all the way around if you want it to, so we could fully engrave the entire 360 degrees of the inside if we wanted to. So these two dots are at an angle, and they are the focus. So when those two dots touch, that's how we know that we're in focus. So basically we want those two dots to touch right on the inside of the ring here. So you can see one there, and pretty soon the other one will show up. There it is. So there's the other one, and when they touch, we know we're in focus. Right about there. So this is called framing, and you can actually see where the letters are gonna be. It just does an outline of the letter, so you can't actually see the letter, but you can see how it kind of wraps up around the side, and it's not exactly straight. But that's okay, because it's actually only gonna be lasering in the middle, and then the ring is gonna rotate around. And that's how we're gonna get that on there. So basically, I just wanna make sure it's in the middle, and then we're gonna call it good. Okay, we're gonna do a test laser, a really light power. So we're only gonna go 15% power for this test, just to make sure everything looks okay. I think that looks pretty good. We're actually gonna hit this 3 times to make it deep enough that you can actually see it. So one of the things I want to do, this customer is actually ordering 5 of these, and he's doing it for his family. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to give him one of these little desk displays, and then that way people can actually put it on their desk if they want to. But to kind of add that extra little touch here, we're actually going to engrave the dog's name right here on the stand as well. So plastic can't handle nearly the temperature of carbon, so we're going to bring this down to just 10% power. All right, so at 10% with no rotary, here we go. There we go. This is one of our many, many mistakes here. So what actually happened was this has antler on the outside, and we put it on there, and the laser was so hot, even though it wasn't actually engraving the antler, the laser was so hot through the other side of the carbon that it lit the antler on fire and turned it to ash, basically. So we learned our lesson on that one. I'd never done antler. We'd never done one of these before, so I just told Brooke, I said, put it on there and shoot it, and she did. And I'm sitting here, and all of a sudden I look over, and I'm like, whoa! I'm like, oh, hey, hit stop. That's why there's an e-stop right here. And we hit stop, and we had a little candle burning right here of antler that was on fire. So not all rings work out. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I just gotta say, I really love doing projects like this that are special and they actually mean something to the people. This is not just an ordinary ring. This is probably the most special ring that these people will ever have. So I feel grateful to be able to do projects like this. I love doing stuff like this. And if you would like one of your own, feel free to send us a message. We'll have a link in the description below to both our Instagram and our Facebook. Like I said, if you would like one of these, send us a message over there and we'll see if we can help you out.